We have some breaking news after Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrats launched a campaign to redraw the state's congressional districts. Now, a state lawmaker is accusing the governor of violating the state's campaign laws.
We're talking about Republican Assemblymember Kate Sanchez. She's filed a complaint against Governor Gavin Newsom with the Fair Political Practices Commission. Now, in this complaint, Sanchez accuses the governor of misusing taxpayer dollars after holding a rally to launch the campaign supporting the redistricting ballot initiative he wants voters to approve on November 4th. Well, state law requires official state business and campaign-related activity to be separate. The governor's office used state workers and resources to organize, broadcast, and host today's rally in Los Angeles. So in a statement, Sanchez said in part, quote, Governor Newsom's decision to use public funds to stage a political rally is an abuse of power and a betrayal of the public trust. This isn't leadership. It's a power trip on the public's dime. Well, because lawmakers have not yet put the initiative on the ballot, Democrats argue the rally was legal. In response, a spokesman for Governor Gavin Newsom said, quote, today's announcement was of a legislative package, something very much in line with the governor's official duties.
Okay, so what was today's rally all about? Right now, Texas is preparing to change its districts to try to send more Republicans to the U.S. House of Representatives. So California leaders are now wanting to do the same, but for the Democrats.
But Texas state law allows its lawmakers to draw maps. California does not. Voters here took that power away nearly 2 decades ago, giving it to an independent redistricting commission. But now, KCRA 3 Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala shows us how California Democrats are getting ready to ask California voters to temporarily return that power to politicians.
Cheers among Democrats and Governor Gavin Newsom at this rally in Los Angeles, kicking off the campaign for what they're calling the Election Rigging Response Act.
They want to rig these elections, and they want the power that gerrymandering provides, because they know what Donald Trump knows. He's going to lose.
The rally in response to Texas, where Republican state lawmakers are preparing to tweak their maps to try to send more Republicans to the U.S. House of Representatives at the request of President Donald Trump.
The voters should have the right to vote for who they want to, not to be given, shoved down their throats, some janky maps.
But to counter those possible gains, Democrats in California are ready to do something similar.
I know they say don't mess with Texas. Well, don't mess with the great Golden State.
The governor and state lawmakers are preparing to ask California voters this November to approve new congressional maps that have been drawn by Democratic lawmakers and their consultants. Those maps would take effect for the next 3 elections. State lawmakers are expected to hear, vote, and approve the maps and declare a special election by next Friday.
In California, we believe voters should have the final say at the ballot box on any changes.
Newsom's campaign already cutting an ad Thursday for the ballot initiative that technically does not yet exist for the special election that is not yet official.
We will not be complicit.
Republican Representative Kevin Kiley's seat is expected to be targeted in California's new maps.
And let's be honest when it comes to what this is really all about. Gavin Newsom has been posturing to run for president, so he's trying to find some issue, any issue, to create a spectacle, to get attention onto himself in order to advance his political ambitions. That's what this is all about, and it's California citizens who once again are paying the price.
In Sacramento, Ashley Zavala, KCRA 3 News.
State lawmakers are slated to release those new proposed maps tomorrow, and they're expected to vote on whether to send them to the ballot a week from today.